with your host, Larry L.G. Glicken, the voice of Cleveland sports. Tonight's special guest is our man from the Midwest Rams, and we just want to welcome everybody to the show. Without further ado, the man with Cleveland sports, Mr. L.G.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cleveland Sports 360 show. I'm your host, LG, and joining me tonight live on the set is none other than Michael Brown from the Midwest Rams. How you doing, Mike?
Good, LG. Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Hey, before we get into the show and what tonight's show is all about, the Rams got a big game coming up against the Mahoning Valley Tigers this Saturday at Case Western Reserve. We want to give a shout-out to the Jim Kelly family. Mike, you're aware that Jim Kelly got diagnosed with cancer in his upper jaw today. The Buffalo Bills, former Buffalo Bills quarterback who took the Bills to 4 consecutive Super Bowl games, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I believe he started out in the Canadian, what was it, USFL?
USFL, I think.
Okay, so he didn't go to Canada. He was with the USFL. I think actually Gerald McNeil, the Ice Cube from the Cleveland Browns, played with Jim Kelly for a while.
Oh, I don't know. McNeil was a kick returner, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he did some wide receiving in college. A lot of people don't understand that. McNeil actually came into the NFL, and he started with the USFL actually as a receiver. Because I had McNeil on my show.
He was a little guy, too.
Yeah, he did good, though,
Ice
man.
Cube was his nickname?
The Ice Cube, yeah. He went to a big college. He played some big football, and he played. But our thoughts and our prayers go out to Jim Kelly and his entire family. I know it's a very scary thing having a cancer diagnosis, no matter what the situation is, and especially being in the jaw. That means that cancer's already in the bone, and when cancer gets to the bone of the human body, it's not pretty.
No, not at all.
So Jim Kelly's a competitor. He's fierce out there. He said he's going to fight this cancer diagnosis exactly the same way that the Kelly family fought everything else. And if that holds true, that means victory, doesn't it, Mike?
Yeah, that he was a good player. He's tough. Where did he go to school?
I don't even remember where Jim Kelly went to school. That's a whole nother lifetime ago, and I'm sure Kelly's thinking it's a whole nother lifetime ago too. I'm not even sure how old he was.
He's probably been.
I think it started in what, 93 when he started his Super Bowl run, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
4 consecutive years in the 90s, taking the Buffalo Bills, who people laugh at today, to 4 consecutive Super Bowls. I mean,
what was Boomer's tagline for the Bills? Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
And that's very true when Jim Kelly was a quarterback. So really, Jim, we wish you the best of the luck. We're sorry to hear about your cancer diagnosis. We're going to pray for you. I know on Thursday night we have the Sports Outreach Ministry show. We'll get the bishop and the minister to both pray for Jim Kelly from the Buffalo Bills, and hopefully God will take care of everything and give you a complete healing, Jim Kelly. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, man. But right now we're going to go to Mike Brown with the Midwest Rams. Mike, you didn't have such a great day last Saturday, did you?
No, it was kind of ugly like the weather was. We went up to Lorain County and took on the Lorain County Nightmares. We kind of struggled offensively. They did too, as a matter of fact. So that was one good thing. Our defense was locked down. We're ranked, I believe we're ranked second in the league on defensive points allowed, and we've only given up 18 points in 3 games.
That's fantastic, man. It sounds like the Rams are defensively solid this season, and that's a huge plus, right?
Oh yeah, we're defensively solid every year. We've got the hit squad. Little shout out to those guys.
Like who? Give us some names, man. Don't just say the hit squad. These people don't know who the hit squad is.
We've got Reggie Smith and Reggie McCory are our bookend defensive ends. We've got Ren Turner and Jason Dirth that are up there in the front. We've got Todd Hudson. He's another D tackle we've got up there. We've got our small but powerful middle linebacker, Richard Demare Starr, the Mr. Mayor. He runs the show back there. And then we've got a couple of real good safeties in Robert Gabriel and Jason Higgins.
So what's the Rams' record now? You're down what? 3 games? You've been through 3 games already.
Overall, counting preseason, we're 2-2. Regular season play, we're 2-1, and that's not too shabby.
Respectable. I
Yeah,
mean, we can't
absolutely.
bitch about a 2-1 season so
no,
far.
and that team we played up there in Lorraine, they're really well coached. They've got a nice staff. They're a bunch of young guys. They've got a lot of good high school and a lot of college talent on that team. They're really well coached. What
was the final score, Mike?
6-0.
Oh, that's not terrible, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the way our offense struggled, though, I can't brag too much on that. But we're going to get that together this week in practice, and we're gonna lay the smack down on the Youngstown Kitty Cats, I think.
So tell me a little bit about this game coming up Saturday night. It's at Case Western Reserve University's field, right?
Yes.
Where exactly is that located?
Euclid and East 117th.
So if people want to attend this game, we're encouraging everybody to bring some canned food or non-perishable items.
We're doing canned food and non-perishable items. Admission's going to be $7 without a donation, $5 with. The canned food and the non-perishables are going to go to Teen Challenge out in Lake County. It's a youth organization for troubled kids, and they're always looking for donations out there. Matter of fact, the leftover food from my wedding New Year's Eve, we took over there, and they were really grateful. And then anything else we get, clothing. We're going to see what we end up with, but we're also going to do clothing, coats, and blankets. And the coats and the blankets for sure are going to go to the Sub-Zero mission that Al Raditz runs.
Good old Al Raditz with the Sub-Zero mission. And a lot of people don't realize that Al Raditz thinks and strongly believes he's a former Marine of the United States Marine Corps, and he strongly believes that nobody should freeze to death in America. Bishop, are you hearing me back there, man? I mean, come on, the Sub-Zero mission, he firmly believes that nobody should freeze to death in the United States or anywhere else in that world. Isn't that? You got to unmute. There you go.
I'm in 100% agreement that no one should go without warmth and food. We used to do quite a few outreaches trying to give the homeless and those that were without a way and often a food or a meal, and clothing and soap and toiletry. So if you can help out, I recommend you help out as well. Get there and do some of that donations. Bring some canned goods, bring some clothing, bring some blankets, bring whatever you can bring, because all this stuff will go to a good cause.
There you have it, folks, right from the bishop's mouth. And, I mean, we did. We were out on the streets in Cleveland. We used to feed the homeless. We had a big homeless picnic every year I was privileged to be a part of. We did the praise team. I played the drums, and it was a great event. But Al is really busting his butt to try to get this Sub-Zero mission back to where it should be. He's got the bus now, right?
He's got the bus, Gemma. Yeah, he parks it out in front of Rick Walker's house.
And he's actually trying to expand into Buffalo with the Sub-Zero mission. And obviously we just talked a little bit about the Buffalo Bills and Jim Kelly undergoing cancer treatments for his upper jaw. There is a lot of cold that goes into Buffalo on the end of Lake Erie every year, Mike. I mean, you could imagine the homeless up there walking around with that wind coming off the east end of Lake Erie, man. I mean, it's like a wind tunnel. I mean, it's terrible, man. So if you can get down to this game Saturday night, the Midwest Rams take on the Mahoning Valley Tigers, and we want some coats, we want some blankets, we want some gently used clothing. I mean,
anything. We're going to find a place for anything anybody wants to bring.
Now, is Al going to be present that night, or
I don't know. I don't know. He's absolutely invited, but he's a busy guy.
Yeah, I can understand that, man. We should try to get Al on the phone one of these days and get him on a little interview. Have him call in, man.
I only know Al kind of casually from being a Perry resident, and he was a longtime Perry football coach, youth coach.
And then he was working for your competitors.
He was.
You guys, are you in the same league as the Predators?
No, we are not.
So Predators, they weren't actually your competitors.
Yeah, the Predators are in the Heartland Football League. We're in the Ohio Football League.
Yeah. So what's important is just to get to this game Saturday night, the Midwest Rams versus the Mahoning Valley Tigers.
That's
right?
hard to say.
It is. I mean, can you say it?
Mahoning. I want to say Mahoney, and I keep
Yeah, me
thinking of
too.
the guy from Police
Mahoning.
Academy.
The Mahoning Valley Tigers, Saturday night. What time's kickoff, Mike?
8:15 sharp.
Wow, 8:15 sharp.
Yep.
So we're really playing
Yeah.
underneath the lights.
Yeah, we'll be under the lights on Saturday. Yeah.
It's a great facility, from what I understand. You took a trip down there last week, right?
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful down there. I actually didn't go down there last week. I talked to him on the phone, but I've been down there for games, and with the dorms and the buildings in the background, it makes for an amazing place to watch a football game.
And people can get concessions, right? The concessions
we'll have
will be
a concession
open.
stand there. Absolutely.
What are we eating?
I believe hot dogs and popcorn.
There you have it. Come on down. And it's not going to cost people an arm and a leg to take in this game, is it?
No. Not at
$7 if you bring a can of food, or
bring the food. Get in for $5.
We encourage you, don't just bring a can of food. I mean, you can
Bring a
go to
couple.
Aldi's and buy several cans of food. It's for a great cause, the teens out there in Lake County. Tell us a little bit about this organization, Mike. Where do these kids come from, man?
They come from Cleveland mostly. I don't know a lot about them. My wife deals with them a lot.
Why didn't we have Joy Brown call in?
We could. Why don't you call in, Joy?
You think
Tell
she's
us
out
about
there
it.
watching? Dial the
I'm
phone,
sure she
Joy.
said she was
it's
gonna be.
216-672-4300. Again, that's 216-672-4300. If you're out there, Joy, pick up the phone, dial 216-672-4300. We want to get more facts on what's going on here in Lake County with these youths, man.
But I see them on their bus coming out there pretty much every day. They've got a nice red and white bus, and it says Teen Challenge right on the side of it. And I see a busload of kids almost every day going out there. And any kind of group like that, we love to support them.
Oh, especially today, the youths are. A lot of people think we had problems when we were growing up, but we didn't have the social media. We didn't have anything is accessible 24/7 via the internet today, and that even includes bullying, from what I understand.
My daughter just recently had a go around with some. They call it a hater page. It's bad page on Twitter making fun of kids, and she just had a bout with that. Somebody made a hater page on her, and it's tough to deal with. It's hard to figure out because on one hand, kids are just they think they're just having fun and it shouldn't be any big deal, but they don't understand that the kids that they're doing it to aren't always as thick-skinned as they think they are.
Well, that's the thing, man. It's not only this, like I said, with the social media, and it certainly didn't take long for somebody to.
Hi, this is Joy Brown calling in as requested.
Okay, there we have it. Actually, we hear her already, so the bishop has the phone unmuted. Can you hear us, Joy?
I know they're talking. I can hear my husband yapping.
Can you hear me? This is LG.
No, not yet, LG. Hold on.
You got to push the gray button on the little box there. Joy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
You want to mute your computer in the background for us during this call, because we can hear that coming back at us too. Not you, Bishop. You're cool. It's Joy's end. Joy, can you hear us?
Uh-oh.
What did we do? You didn't hang up the phone, did you, Bishop? No, you can't hang it up. You got to leave it off the hook. We're having a little technical difficulty. Obviously, the bishop's filling in for Jeff Leaf, who is home taking care of us.
I'm sorry, Joy, about that. Let me get you back up. Let me get you back up.
Okay.
Okay, hold on a second, okay?
All right.
There you have it. Can you hear us now, Joy?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you perfectly. The bishop has it fully under control behind the wheels of steel tonight. Bishop Hezekiah Mujahideen. He's doing a fantastic job. But Joy, Mike was trying to fill us in a little bit about the group you guys are going to support after Saturday night's game, and he didn't know that much about it.
Well, Teen Challenge is a rehab center for teens. It's an option that they can do instead of going to juvenile detention center.
Okay, so did you say rehab?
Yes, it's rehab, and it helps them with addiction and bad behavior and, just troubled teens. And instead of sending them through the system, which, as we all know, usually ends up with them going back through the system later on in life. This is a Christian-centered group that helps them work through their issues and work through their addiction, and gives them a different kind of family to depend on.
So tell us a little bit, how did the Midwest Rams get involved with a youth group like this? Where did this all start?
Well, I mean, really, when Mike and I got married, I had all this food left over, and I didn't want it to go to waste. So I asked around, and a friend of mine out here in Perry told me about Teen Challenge. So when Mike said that the guys wanted to do this game and donate food and other items, and they didn't know who to give it to, I said Teen Challenge would be great.
Well,
especially since a lot of these kids come from the inner city Cleveland, and that's where a lot of our guys got their start.
Well, it sounds fantastic. It sounds really interesting, Joy, and I'm glad that the Midwest Rams got on board with this and are going to make a difference in some youth's lives. And have you witnessed anybody turning things around over there, or haven't you been privy to that yet?
I haven't really been privy to that. I do get a newsletter from them since I donated at around New Year's, and they do have stories in there of kids that have gone on and gotten their college education and have gone on to do good things.
Well, that's fantastic. All the way from a troubled youth through college, Mike, huh?
Yeah.
That's great when you see something like that take effect. A lot of people need some help. Well, thanks for calling, Joy. Is there anything else you want to add? Any last minute pleas for the public? Anything you want to talk about at all while we have you on the phone? We don't get a chance to have Joy Brown on the show that often.
Please come to the games, support the Rams, hear the horns, and yeah, that's about it.
Well, thanks so much for calling in. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, thanks, LG.
Thank you. There you have it, folks. Now you can hang up the phone, Bishop, and push the mute button on number 7. That way when you answer the phone next time, we don't hear everything. In case somebody calls in with vulgarities, we got to block them out. You know what I'm talking about, Bishop?
I hear you, LG.
Keep it muted in case we get some profanities. You know how they try to talk to LG.
Yeah. I think that's very wonderful that this program here that you guys have is so oriented toward the youths, especially troubled teens. You know, you got troubled teens all over the place. You have to understand there's so much going on with young people and not enough for them to do. So you can't really blame them for everything that's going on with them, because jobs are hard enough for adults. So you know how difficult it could get for young people. And with your Rams, I see this picture I have up on the screen right now of this Rams. There's a lot of young people there that's being supported by some older folks that allow them to do some things and make themselves a lot stronger in being active in sports.
Well, that's what we try to shoot for. You know, it's we've got a couple of guys that have had some struggles in life, and we've kind of pulled them along on the team, and hoping that they'll use football as an outlet to get things straight.
Well, it sounds to me like we're going to take our first commercial break here on the Cleveland Sports 360 show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, you want to talk to Mike Brown, find out more information about the Midwest Rams taking on the Mahoning Valley Tigers, or if you're a Midwest Ram, you want to call in and throw your 2 cents into this conversation, pick up the phone, dial it. It's 216-672-4300. We'll be glad to take your calls live here on the air. We'll be back with more of the Cleveland Sports 360 show in about 2 minutes right here on StreamingSportsTalk.com.
first day. I'm doing good. Two minutes. 2 minutes. Okay, you guys, we get ready to get back here to the Streaming Sports Talk 360 show with your host, LG.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm muted. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Check 1, 2. I'm muted.
I can hear you now.
We got a rookie running the steels of the wheel, but he's getting the hang of it real quick. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cleveland Sports 360 show with our special guest, Michael Brown from the Midwest Rams, whose team is taking on the Mahoning Valley Tigers this Saturday night at Case Western Reserve University's field. They were nice enough to get you guys down there for the game under the lights. You guys don't normally play under the lights, do you, Mike?
No, we're usually a Saturday afternoon team.
I mean, you obviously played high school football under the lights if they had lights where you came from. Did they have electricity where you came from, man?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I graduated from Chardon. I played one year of football out at Chardon, yeah.
You never got to play on the new field, though.
No,
you were on the old field.
I did play on the new field once I got into semi-pro.
But never in high school.
Not in high school.
I thought maybe you came from, like, Pittsburgh or West Virginia or something like that.
I did, but I'm a transplant, so I call Chardon hometown now, so...
Well, there you have it, folks. You're not just a Pittsburgh fan because you grew up in Pittsburgh. You're a Pittsburgh fan because you chose to do so.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not bad DNA. It's just the way things worked out, right?
That's right. I will be playing on that new field, I believe, in the fall. It'll be my second go-around. We're going to play in an alumni game where Chardon High School is going to take on the Riverside Beavers.
Wow, that should be a game, huh?
Yeah, it was. We had a good time. They originally did it as part of the Healing Fund. They did to help them out and raise money for the Healing Fund after the shooting. Last year, they took on Mayfield High School. That game had to be called at halftime, and they ended up losing 3-0. Then we went down to South Canton and kicked their ass 14-0.
Well, I don't know if people realize this, but what was that guy? T.J. Lane was the shooter.
T.J. Lane, yeah.
You're talking about the Healing Fund in Chardon, Ohio, and they needed healing after this idiot kid walks into the school and opens fire and takes, 3 innocent lives, Mike?
Yeah,
One guy is left in a wheelchair for the rest of his days. But you know what? Mr. Lane... This is what the rumor was. I heard it the other day on one of the radio shows. A guy called in from the Lyndhurst area who knows somebody at a prison, and T.J. Lane decided to go down to prison and shoot his mouth off a little bit about the warden and everything. And mysteriously, the security cameras at the prison that normally tape all of a sudden weren't working.
Weren't functioning?
No,
that's fantastic.
T.J. Lane fell down numerous times. This is a few weeks after he was at the prison, and he had to be life flighted to the hospital, Mike.
No kidding.
Yeah. A lot of people say those are reports you don't hear, but T.J. Lane got his butt beat in prison where he had to be life flighted to the hospital. Why you would life flight a killer like that, because that's just the way we treat people.
Got to get his, he's got to serve his time. If he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, then take the punishment.
But a lot of people don't realize that T.J. Lane, the rumor has it, had to be life flighted to the hospital from the prison, and whatever prison that was, I understand he was moved to an entirely different prison after he got out of the hospital.
I think he was down in Grafton originally, down there in Lorraine, but I don't know.
This is what I heard. This is what I heard, man, that he was moved to a new facility after the beating of his life took place.
I don't have an issue with that.
I don't think a lot of people will have an issue because obviously this young man needed to learn a little bit of respect, and you can't walk into somebody's prison and badmouth the warden. And some of the comments he made in court before his sentencing took place to the families of the victims that were brutally murdered didn't sit well with many.
No, they don't. And I don't like to bash about what I don't know about, but I went to school with.
Like I said, we can't really bring it up as news,
right?
But it was a rumor. The rumor has it that he did.
Well, I know what he did in court, and like I said, I went to school with his aunt, and his mom and dad were a couple of years younger than me, but they were still in school at the same time I was. Everybody was out there at Chardon, and everybody knew everybody else. But after school and seeing the course that his life took, and he came from a broken home, and that's a huge deal. I know my mom did a great job raising me by herself. Me and my younger brother. My dad died when I was 13, and I got into a lot of trouble. You really need both parents to take care of things, and you've got to stay on top of these kids. My kids are involved in sports all the time. My daughter is football, basketball, track. She was in Civil Air Patrol for a while. Things just got to be too much. But if you don't keep them busy, they get bored, and then they end up getting in trouble.
Yeah, that's and obviously there's something a little deeper in Mr. Lane's problems than we're able to rationalize, at least on the Cleveland Sports 360 show anyway, Mike. But how is the community of Chardon doing after this tragic event? I mean, you're closer to it than I am. I know they're having an issue right now. Some of the families were actually suing the United Way now because the money that was collected.
I read about that. That's very disheartening. And you always hear that a lot of these charities, they collect money and they only send so much of it to whatever they're collecting for, and the rest of it goes to pay people's salaries. I know that they're not all like that, but that kind of. That kind of disheartens you. But from what I can tell, and the people that I talk to that still live in Chardon, things seem to be going a little bit better. You know,
Well, that's good, man. It's such a tight-knit little community, and it's a cute little community. They have the Chardon Square, home of the Maple Fest every year.
Maple Fest, yep.
I can't even remember how long. I don't remember not having a Maple Fest.
One year it got canceled, and that wasn't actually. I think it was the second time. I know it got snowed out a couple of times.
Well, that's not hard to believe.
But, and especially in April, it's not hard to do. But my mom still lives in Chardon, and I've got, a lot of friends that still live there. And she lives right off the square, about a block and a half, and, right down over the hill. So I'm there often.
Yeah, it's a nice little community. Is that over the hill towards the golf course, Chardon Lakes, or is it the other way, Mike?
It's the other way. It's toward the east side.
Okay.
We call it the lower. I call it the lower east side. Shout out to the allotments. Let's go. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, what are you going to do, man? It's all there, and it's a great place to live. It's a great, they have nice things to do during the summer out there.
They do.
They have the concerts on the square.
On the square.
We're giving a little shout out to Chardon, Ohio, right now.
Yeah.
But let's get back to football and the Midwest Rams. What do the Rams have to look out for against this Mahoning Valley Tigers team come Saturday night? Mike?
I don't know. We don't know a lot about them. They're not a team that's put out a lot of film or a lot of stats.
How does that work in semi-pro? Do you guys request it, or
you can request it from other teams? Let's say the Mahoning Valley Tigers, who took on the Cleveland Saints last week. I believe they beat the Saints in overtime by 2. I think it was 29-27 or somewhere around in there. But now I could go to the Tigers and say, "Hey, I'd like a copy of your film." They could say yeah, they could say no. I'd be better off going to the Saints and say, "Hey, I'd like a copy of your film," or to talk to somebody that they saw in preseason, which is usually how we get our film. That's how we got our film on the North Coast Vikings. That's how we got our film on the Nightmares. We went to their preseason opponents and said, "Hey, can we get a favor? We'll scratch your back if you scratch ours."
Now, speaking of the North Coast Vikings, correct me if I'm wrong, this team folded already, right?
They are,
I think,
100% done, and their ownership group said they are done permanently.
Yeah, I think Dan posted something to me today on the Cleveland Sports 360 Facebook page. You can follow me on the Cleveland Sports 360 Facebook page. Like the page, USA Sports 360, or follow us at Twitter at Cleve Sports 360. That's CLEV Sports 360 on Twitter. But Dan poured his heart and soul into trying to bring this Vikings team back this year, and we've actually had him on the show a couple of times, Mike. And it's a little disheartening. He thought he had committed guys, and it seems like these guys weren't as committed as they once thought.
Well, and I think they were trying to get the magic back. 2 years ago, they went 9-1 regular season, and they were in the playoffs, and they had a really good team. A lot of guys from Malone College were playing for them, and they had a lot of local talent. But last year they didn't even make it to the start of the season. This year they made it 3 games in. We beat them 28-12. They scored one of their touchdowns early on a blown coverage, and then one of them late in garbage time. So it really shouldn't have been even that close. And then they went out to Lorain County and just got crushed 41-0. And I think that was the nail in the coffin.
I want to just show the people this shirt. We're going to change the subject here. I noticed you looked at it a couple times. This is Sean Porter, folks, and his grandmother, who he lost in January of this year. Sean Porter will be the undisputed welterweight champion of the world one day. He is 22-0-1 right now. He just came off
of a record.
A unanimous decision over Phil LaGreco on the 18th of May. So Sean Porter lost his grandmother, and what this shirt is, see that, Mike? Even yourself, when was the last time you had an examination to fight cancer, man? It's just a reminder.
Yeah.
Get to the doctors, get yourself checked out. Ken Porter, Sean Porter, they're giving away these shirts. It's a great way to remind people. Get to the doctor, get yourself checked out, and put up a fight like Sean Porter does in the ring when he's boxing against cancer. That's his grandmother.
Where do you get that shirt?
Sean Porter, man. You can find him on Facebook, Kenny Porter or Sean Porter. That's his grandmother, Bobby Lee Porter, lost her battle to pancreatic cancer on the 18th of, believe it or not, of January of 2013. And then Sean climbs back into that square circle, and he took care of Phil LaGreco. Now, Sean Porter's an Akron, Ohio native. He's originally from Cleveland, moved to Akron. Right now, he's living in Vegas because obviously his
That's where
training.
the boxing action is,
his
too.
training. He's over there at Mayweather's camp, working out, and I don't know who Sean's going to fight. But Phil LaGreco was 25-0 coming into this fight.
That's a heck of a record too.
Just a reminder for you people to get out there, get checked. Early detection is the key in the battle of cancer, and that's what the Porters want to do, man. They want to get you early detected. If you do have a problem, that's the best way to beat the problem, Mike. And that's a great message they're sending out.
We've got, we were talking about Jim Kelly, a football player who had cancer. We have two guys on our team who beat cancer last year. One's a corner, Mo Jones. I believe it was a lung cancer, and the other one was Jason Higgins, and I believe he had stomach
Now these
cancer.
guys beat cancer.
These
and
guys
coming back
beat
and
it,
playing
and they
football?
came back. They both took the off season, had their treatment, beat this thing, and they're back just as good as ever.
Thank God for that. Amen, huh?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
that's fantastic to hear. And obviously, with a disease like lung cancer, a lot of times people don't realize early detection is key, right?
Absolutely, and that's what got it. I believe I think he may have got it before. I'm kind of confused on the story sometimes, but he had an injury up in Detroit when we were having a game. He got knocked unconscious. And I think they may have even caught it during that when he had X-rays. But,
a lot of times that happens, especially with a
absolutely.
lung, because, you don't feel the pain or anything. You don't have any coughing or any problems. And by the time you do detect a problem, so, that was God's way of getting this guy in there, man.
Right,
Forced injury.
Absolutely.
But the Porters are putting out a beautiful message of early detection, and you got two great stories right here from the Midwest Rams.
No doubt.
Both guys suffered cancer.
And both guys came back.
Thank God, man.
You got to keep fighting. That's that's the key.
You got to have a winning attitude, no
Absolutely.
doubt about it. Just like Sean Porter and Kenny Porter, the next welterweight undisputed champion of the world, as soon as he gets a fight with one of these guys that will give him an honest evaluation of letting him come in there and fight for that belt. I believe Sean Porter can do it, man.
Yeah, I'm not big on boxing. I just was never one of my things that I got into. It was always football or hockey, But
Right.
that's a
hockey,
great
isn't
great
hockey
story.
just like boxing?
Yeah, how's that joke? Who said that joke? Was that Don Rickles? I went to a boxing match and a hockey game broke out.
Right. Yeah, there's not much difference between, I was reading a story the other day, Mike. You talk about hockey, where one family was suing the National Hockey League. The NHL had a lawsuit filed against them for their kid killed himself, and he was because of the use of the pain medication and things of that nature. They believe he killed himself because he sustained so many head injuries in the hockey game.
The helmets are not. There's nothing there.
Right.
It's a sport. I play hockey as well. And it's that's one of those sports where there's not a lot of head.
That's a rough game, man.
It is.
Much rougher than football, don't you think?
I last year I didn't play this year. I had a hernia operation, so I took the year off from doing too much. But I played last year in a 35 and older league. I wish I had played with the 18 and over, because I think these guys that have been skating for 40 years are harder hitters and faster guys than the guys that have been skating for 18 or 20.
And not only that, they know all the little tricks and
all
nuances.
the dirty little tricks.
Yeah,
Yep,
there's certain things where they put that stick that it shouldn't really go there, right?
I had a broken cup once. Yeah, absolutely.
So you got to watch it, man. These old guys know the tricks, but But Mike, what kind of a season do you think the Rams? Honestly, not at your 3 games into the regular season. What do you really expect out of the Midwest Rams in 2013?
I expect the playoffs. Absolutely. We always joke, what's his name? He said playoffs, but I absolutely expect the playoffs. And I expect to go 3 games deep into the playoffs and at least be in contention to put that jewelry on our finger this year. I absolutely do. I love my team. I love the guys on the team, and I have 100% faith in every one of them that we can step up and get the job done.
And does the rest of the team feel the same way, man? Are you guys all on the same page? Communication.
They better,
key,
or they
right?
can go play for the Vikings,
who aren't playing anywhere.
who aren't playing anywhere.
Anymore.
Absolutely,
Right.
And if you don't have it, you don't have it.
So it's going to be interesting, man, to see what happens Saturday night. Again, folks, you got to get downtown to Case Western Reserve University's home football field, which is a beautiful facility, right?
Beautiful,
and it's safe,
beautiful.
right?
Oh yeah, there's. I just talked to the director of the facility, and there's security's all set up. They've got their own campus police that are going to be on the scene. So I don't see any problem.
What about parking, Mike? How does parking work?
There's a parking garage right there on the campus, right next to the field. It does cost to park. I believe it's $7 a carload. So
It's not bad.
No, your best bet would be the carpool.
You go to any other professional sporting event in downtown Cleveland, man, you're talking a minimum $20 to go to an Indians
absolutely.
game and park anywhere in the vicinity of Progressive Field.
And just so everybody knows, yes, the players still have to pay to park. So we're getting it too.
Yeah, everybody gets it. That's why LG's riding with Mike Brown.
There you go.
I'm teasing you, man.
You are announcing the game for us, right?
I'm definitely trying to make sure my schedule is clear at this moment in time, and I should definitely have an answer for you guys sometime tomorrow afternoon.
Fantastic. I hope you can.
Yeah,
make it.
I'm doing the best I can to make sure that Saturday night's clear. But there's the music. We're going to take another break here on the Cleveland Sports 360 show, and we'll be right back with more of Mike Brown and the Midwest Rams. If you're out there, give us a call, 216-672-4300.
shining down on you. Heaven knows where we've been. But we can fly, we will live forever. And all I see through, and you were there. We can fly, we will never die. And all I see
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get back to the program with our host, LG, the voice of Cleveland sports, and his guest tonight, special guest from the Midwest Rams, Michael Brown. And without further ado, LG and that Sports 360 show.
Hey, welcome back to the Cleveland Sports 360 show right here on Streaming Sports Talk. As the Bishop told you, we got Michael Brown from the Midwest Rams really coming down to try to promote this game Saturday night. We were encouraging you to bring some food, canned food, clothing, blankets,
coats.
coats. Everybody's got to have an old coat or an old blanket they can give away, right, Mike?
Anything, yep, absolutely.
Case Western Reserve School of Football Field down there at 117th and Euclid, Mike?
117th in Euclid, yep. East 117th in Euclid.
Right. Well, I don't think there's a West 117th in Euclid.
Yeah, I don't go to that side of town.
Yeah, but I don't believe that there is one in the first place, man, because I think Euclid
It
Avenue
doesn't
ends.
end like it ends at the bridge, right?
Yeah, I think so. But they just call it Route 20. It does go all the way, you could really take 20 all the way to Indiana if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Through Toledo and everything. That's before freeways. But it's going to be an exciting event. It's the Midwest Rams versus the Mahoning Valley Tigers this Saturday night. Game time is 8:15.
8:15 kickoff.
And then it's 4 quarters of exciting Midwest Rams football.
Absolutely. Under the lights.
Good concessions. Any special events planned for the game, Mike?
We're going to be giving away 4 Dick's $50 gift certificates. We're going to be giving away 1 per quarter. We're going to be doing a 50-50 raffle. And
so somebody could show up to this game, bring a can of food, pay $5 to get in, and they have the potential to walk away with a $50
Dick's gift certificate. Yep.
Free $50.
Yep.
4
free $50.
people have that opportunity.
Yep. Thank you, Dick's Sporting Goods. They helped us out. We're also going to be giving away to the first 50 people in the gate. We're going to be giving a gift from Dick's, either a water bottle or one of those little cinch sports sacks. We're going to let everybody have their choice on that.
So the first 50 people have a choice between 2 beautiful gifts, again by Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yep, absolutely.
That the Midwest Rams will give away to the first 50 people that get through the gate.
Our other 2 sponsors down there, we don't have anything given away for them. They were awfully nice in helping sponsor this game. Is Corrective Eye Center and Extreme Fitness.
So if you got bad eyes and you're in bad shape,
you call Corrective Eye Center, get your eyes fixed, and call Joe Salomon for Extreme Fitness, and you can get your back in shape. So
maybe we better head down there after this show, huh, Mike?
I'm telling you, man. I took too much time off in the off season.
Getting married. I mean,
getting married, and I had an injury that I had.
So
to
you're
take care of,
you're really a newlywed now.
I am.
You're not even into the first year of marriage.
I don't even think we're 6 months yet.
No, I mean New Year's Eve. Well, technically New Year's Eve till to today's June 3rd. So I would say, let's see, so that'd be February, March, April, May, June.
Yeah, 6
5 months.
Yeah. Well, you got to count all of January, too.
I'm not counting them, man. I'm keeping you into the to the lower half.
I'm still newlywed.
How's the new marriage working out for you,
Fantastic.
Mike? We're putting you right on the spot.
You know what? I will never complain. I have an ex-wife. I know how that is, and I'm married to a great gal. She loves football. Loves my kids, and I love her back, and she supports me in everything I decide to do.
Well, behind every great man, there's a great woman. That's we've been hearing.
Joy called in. You heard her. She's pretty great. She's on the ball on everything. She takes all our team pictures, posts them up for these guys so they have something to look at after the game. Good or bad, and these guys love it because a lot of these teams out there, they don't even have pictures. They don't have a website. It's a lot of fly by night operations out there, and she started into it as a hobby, and she's trying to help keep these guys happy on the team. So.
Well, it sounds like she's doing a fantastic job, and she is a fantastic gal. I've had the privilege of meeting her. We've suffered through a couple Browns games last season together.
I didn't suffer much, but
well, I think you had to suffer once when the Browns ended up beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right? They were gifted that game.
It happens.
They were gifted that game by all the fumbles and the things of that nature.
That was our problem Saturday night. We could not find the handle on that football.
Now, was it a wet, sloppy field, Mike?
No, absolutely not. It was a turf field. I think our first fumble came. It hadn't even rained yet. It was one of those. It was just one of those exchanges where the quarterback wasn't quite where he should have been, and the running back wasn't quite where he should have been, and he reached out for the football instead of letting the quarterback give it to him, and that's football basics. And sometimes even guys that play at a higher level than high school or youth football, you still need to get coached up on that stuff. It's all about the repetition. If the football's not there when you make the pocket, leave it be. Don't reach for it. It won't end up on the ground. Now,
did this fumble result into a turnover?
I believe that one did, and it was a battlefield position from then on. Both teams punted a lot. The only score came on a broken play, and I hate to blame the refs on anything. You should never leave it in the refs' hands, but it was a broken play where we had a guy get held. Quarterback scrambled to the outside. A missed tackle here, a block there. Next thing you know, he's 40 yards down the field for a touchdown.
Oh, and it was the quarterback?
It was a quarterback.
He ran for 40 yards and got a touchdown.
And I'm not a big smack talker. I just don't do it. I got a lot of respect for anybody that comes out and plays the game, but he's a hell of an athlete. Can't throw a deep football, but got a couple of nice dinks and dunks. We got to him a lot. I know he was feeling it Sunday morning when he got up. But I will say one thing. That kid moves like nobody I've ever seen. Fast, not real tall, maybe 5'10" tops.
Obviously, it sounds like you're almost describing Colt McCoy. A little dink and dunk. He can move. He can run. Dink and dunk. He can run.
Yeah, and just fast. Just a quick kid. Nice feet.
I've heard reports, speaking of Colt McCoy, that he's excelling out there in San Francisco under Jim Harbaugh's expert tutelage.
It's all coaching.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's all coaching.
How much more experience at the quarterback position can you get for a coach than Jim Harbaugh?
A guy who played the game. He was in the Super Bowl, too,
and he was pretty successful at the quarterback position on top of that. So
I think he needs to bring his mustache back, though. He had that big caterpillar going up there. I love that.
But, the 49ers just hired a former Cleveland Browns head coach, Eric Mangini, yesterday.
Another guy I was a fan of when he was out here.
Well, that was another mistake that Mike Holmgren made, was letting go Mangini to bring in Pat Shurmur. That was obviously the bad decision on Holmgren's part.
Mangini was a decent coach, and I think Butch Davis was a decent coach. And
I think Butch Davis started to try to do too much. He should have gave up the general managing job and just coached football.
But it can be done. It can be done. My thing is,
you can't do it and try to build a successful team when you're starting from scratch, pretty much.
Yeah,
Mike, and that's the problem. Maybe on a more established team, things could have been a little bit different.
My whole thing is, and I've said this to you before, the Browns' biggest problem is consistency. And until they bring in a group of coaches that they actually give some kind of chance, more than what's the longest tenure for a coach here? 3 years,
right?
3 years. They change their coaches like most people change their underwear. It's been a revolving to 14 coaches, I think, since 1969 or something like that.
Since when?
69, maybe more.
You want to go all the way back there? I think there was 17.
I'm going to use a comparison because you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who now have 6 Super Bowls and have been to 8. And I think it's been 12 championship games. for AFC championship games, and have had 3 coaches over those years. You've got Chuck Noll, who took over a failing, horrible team, even worse than what the Browns are now. And then he made it all the way up until Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher got him to 2 Super Bowls, and now you've got Mike Tomlin, who's been to 2. So it's
a dynasty. Yeah, it's a dynasty there at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and one of the things is the Rooney family. I mean, they're very successful at building a football team, Mike, and it started with the old man Rooney.
Art Sr.
And
1936, he bought that team for $3,000.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What an investment, huh?
Oh, I'm telling you, man. And they say it's one of the highest earning teams there is. There's a 20-year waiting list for season tickets.
Yeah, unbelievable, man. But hopefully the Browns are going to get it turned around. I'm not so sure that this ownership's going to be around long enough to see that happen.
I hope so. I like Jimmy Haslam, and
he's got big problems, man. He's got legal problems.
Every billionaire has got some kind of skeleton in his closet. I don't care who.
Well, this is a pretty big skeleton when you're being people are trying to compare you to racketeering charges.
Well, I don't know if it was that bad, but
no, they did. They filed. There's a suit filed in Illinois now that contains the words racketeering in it, Mike. So
yeah,
it's that bad. And
that's a
two of his people put out guilty pleas last week.
yeah. Well,
the prosecution's grooming one of them to testify against Jimmy Haslam.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy's got his hands full. I think he's going to have his hands full, and I think we're going to have problems here with the Cleveland Browns and the new ownership.
I've been as much of a Browns fan almost as I've been a Steelers fan. My parents lived out here when they were actually winning games,
Well,
so.
I remember that. I mean, that was, one guy said it best a couple of weeks ago, that Sam Ratigliano.
Great guy. I listened to him speak at, went to a USA football coaching clinic and heard Coach Sam speak. Great guy.
He's a great coach. He was a great teacher and a great mentor of men. I mean, and if you think about some of the guys that he had that he won football games with, those guys were convinced when they went out on the field, and this is probably where your team has to step it up a notch if they aren't already there. They were convinced that they could win every single game they played in.
Absolutely.
So that makes a huge difference too when you have that confidence instilled into the players.
Well,
Sam Ratigliano did.
If you go out there thinking that you're going to lose, or it's iffy at
any
all,
kind of a question about
any
winning.
kind of question mark about winning, you're going to lose that game.
So, Mike, we got a couple minutes left tonight here on the Cleveland Sports 360 show. Tell the people one more time what this is going to be about Saturday night, why they should come down, and how to get the discounted rate, and make sure to tell them about those great giveaways that the Midwest Rams are coming up with.
First of all, it's going to be about great football, because this is going to be a good game. I've been on Facebook, and there's already been some exchanges in the social media between the two teams, and I think that's fantastic. There's nothing like an instant rivalry. Secondly, we're going to be donating canned goods and any coats, blankets, gently used clothes. Canned goods and non-perishables are going to go to Teen Challenge, an organization. Couldn't think there for a second.
See what that is there, man? Huh? Got to get the heat out of the playoffs tonight, man.
But they're an organization that helps troubled teens and tries to keep them out of the system. And the coats and the blankets are going to go to the Sub-Zero mission that Al Raditz runs. It's $7 admission. If you bring any type of donation, it's going to get you $2 off. And then once a quarter, we're going to give away a $50 Dick's gift certificate. And then for the first 50 people in the gate, we're going to give a free gift.
How can you lose on a deal like this? You bring a can of food, a coat, a blanket, you get a $2 off your admission price.
I'm going to make it better, too, and I always forget about this. Kids that are under 10 and under are free.
10 and under. Where else can you get entertainment for the entire family for $7 if you bring food? $5, huh?
Absolutely.
So 2 adults with 2 little kids, you get in for $10 if you bring a couple cans of food and support the Midwest Rams against the Mahoning Valley Tigers at Case Western Reserve, 117th and Euclid.
117th and Euclid.
It's safe, it's secure. They got their own campus police. Get down there, support the Midwest Rams. Basically, bring some food, support the youths out there in Lake County that are getting rehabilitated. And Mike, it was a great pleasure having you on the
Fantastic.
Cleveland
Love coming
Sports
down.
360
Thank
show
you.
again. God bless you, man. We'll get the bishop to say a little blessing for you before you leave. That way you'll be sure to come back with a win, man, because you'll have
Absolutely.
God on your side. Come back next week, folks. We're going to have fast pitch softball all the way from Toronto, Canada with the Diamond Kings. We'll see you next week right here on the Cleveland Sports 360 show. Don't forget, Thursday night, the Sports Outreach Ministries with the Bishop Habu Hezekiah Mujahideen and the Minister Thomas M. Bailey. Friday night, it's the You Gotta Be Frickin' Kidding Me show, preceded by the Russell Reed Show. Sunday night at 8 p.m. It's the show everybody's talking about with Big Jeff Woods, the Rottweiler. He's going to be a contender in the heavyweight title, the Ready to Rumble show. God bless you. Take care. We'll see you next week right here on more of the Cleveland Sports 360 show.